Ms. Marks-McGhee, you say the defendant needs to step up and take responsibility for your 2-year-old son, Ahmari, because you know he is your son's biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, you claim Ms. Marks-McGhee didn't even tell you about her baby until he was 3 weeks old, and you know you are not the father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, why do you believe the plaintiff is claiming you are the father?
Well, I believe the other guy she had in her life didn't want anything to do with her or the baby anymore, so she decided to push the baby off on me.
Is that true, Ms. Marks-McGhee?
No, that's not true. I mean, I did tell a couple lies, play a mean game. However, I know that Mr. Wright is Ahmari's father, and I just want the truth to be out so that my son can get to know his family and, you know, be a part of his family's life.
So tell me, what was the nature of your relationship?
The nature of our relationship was he was really just supposed to be something for me to get over someone else, but things went further than what they were supposed to go.
Oh, he was first just a convenient distraction.
In my mind, yes. But, you know, like I said, things went further than what they were supposed to go.
When you say it went further,
I started catching feelings for him.
so it was supposed to be a rebound, then you start having feelings for him, real feelings.
Yes, ma'am. He was there for me a lot. And my other son, we had sexual intercourse a week after we met. I let him move in about a couple weeks after that. So a month of us knowing each other, I let him move in. He was very helpful. He would watch my son, not Ahmari, my other son, while I would go to work. He would clean, cook, help me out around the house. When I couldn't get something, he would make sure that he got it, and he made sure we were straight. So my feelings for him got stronger for him, you know, showing that he cared. He's a very wonderful man. He really is. And I fell in love with him too. So I call it a lost love triangle that I was caught in. However, I know for a fact that Mr. Wright is Ahmari's dad because he was the only man that I was sleeping with around the time of conception.
So did it start off as a rebound for you too, Mr. Wright, or you had feelings from the beginning?
I mean, I didn't have feelings in the beginning because I had, you know what I'm saying, when I first met her, I was introduced to her by a friend. In the beginning, she was telling a lot of lies, you know, that I always picked up on, you know.
But if you knew she was lying, why move in with her?
I was vulnerable.
You were vulnerable.
I was vulnerable.
All right, explain.
I had left for a minute and came back, you know, when I came back here and met her, you know what I'm saying, I really didn't have anything.
You were at a place in your life where you needed somewhere to stay.
I guess you could say that.
Okay. Was it a relationship or was it I'm just gonna stay here for a while? What was the plan?
Yes, it was a relationship.
And then at some point you realize you're pregnant, Miss Marks-McGhee. Tell me what happened, Mr. Wright, when she told you she was pregnant.
Well, she always used to joke around saying that she was pregnant a lot. Like she said it plenty of times. Like she would joke about it and be like, nah, I'm not pregnant. Then I'm pregnant. To the point where it's just like, now I'm back in my mind, like, oh, she's always lying when she's talking about that. You know, me being in my position, hearing that constantly, what would you think?
Well, I mean, at some point, I'm not gonna lie, Miss Marks-McGhee, you heard the story of the boy that cried wolf.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
become the girl that cried pregnant.
Right, but that wasn't the case.
So what was the issue? You kept thinking you were pregnant or you
No,
weren't?
I thought I was pregnant one time before I really found out that I was pregnant. I wasn't feeling myself. I know how I feel, you know, when I'm pregnant. I'm a female. I've had a child before. I've had kids before. When the time came, we were moving out of our apartment October 1st. I took a test that morning and it was positive, and I told him. But then I kind of found out some stuff from his social media that I didn't like, and there was another female saying that she was pregnant by him, and he was saying she was lying. I broke it off with him, and I told him that I was gonna get rid of the baby, and he was seeing pictures of me big and pregnant. I wanna say about 5-6 months
So
along.
were you lying when you said that?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
All right. So this is what you talk about when you say she was lying.
Yes, ma'am.
First she's pregnant, then she's not pregnant, then she's...
I mean, there's a whole story behind that too, because once we left from the apartment, you know, I barely had any contact with her at all.
So you moved out?
Right.
Okay.
Apparently she started messing with somebody else, and that's who she tried to put the baby off on.
Oh, in the beginning, she told someone else they were the child's father?
In the beginning, I told Mr. Wright he was the father, but the someone else was the one that I was trying to get over by even starting anything with Mr. Wright.
Oh, so
Right.
the ex came back in the picture
Right.
after Mr. Wright moved out.
Right, but see, he was away, like far
Okay.
away. And, you know, after I found out I was pregnant was when my ex came back. Me and Mr. Wright had no contact. We weren't speaking after I told him, you know, I got rid of the baby and I got re-pregnant by someone else.
Did you say re-pregnant?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I heard that.
I said it.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. So you have sincere doubt, Mr. Wright.
Yes.
You truly don't know.
I don't know at all. Like, I don't know what to believe right now. It's too many lies around it. It's just too many lies around this whole situation. You know about like how a female got a little girl code, right?
Girl code. Okay.
How you could look at your friend and you could tell a whole paragraph just by doing this. You know what I mean,
That's
right?
how we do?
Look how you looking right now. You
We
telling me
really
something I
can't
don't
do
know.
this. We really can't do that. Uh-huh. I'm listening.
Okay, so
I
just-
could also do it to Jerome, and he knows what I'm saying.
maybe he just picked up on a girl talk.
He's been with me long enough, but I understand what you're saying. You're saying girls have nonverbal communication.
Right.
All right, I'm listening.
So you could being around enough of that, you could pick up on it sooner or later. You know, like there's actually one incident I acted as if I was her, texting a friend.
You text from your phone or you text from her phone?
I text from her phone.
Okay,
No,
so you
but
got
she-
her phone.
All right, it just so happened on this specific day, she was in the phone a lot, you know, and I was like what's going on? What she got going on the phone? So when I finally had the chance to grab it, you know, as if I was playing the game or something, you know, I went ahead and texted a friend. Texted one of the friends on her phone.
You text one of the friends that she has girl code with.
Yes.
All right, and so you're gonna crack that code.
Yes, ma'am.
So you submitted these text messages to the court. So you text,
Girl, I was like, girl, this guy acting up.
girl, this guy's acting up. Oh,
Man, she says back who? Now, mind you, females are smarter than what people really give them credit for. Now you know.
well, Mr. Wright, I'm glad you filled me in on that today.
It's just, what do you mean, who? That's the first thing I'm thinking. Like you said, who? Who else? Like who's that? Who's with
So
you?
your spidey sense is up now.
Yeah.
Because if it was only you, she would have just responded.
Right.
Okay, then what happened?
So I text back. I'm still in character as her. Who do you think? I mean, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. Just like, okay, what is she about to say? What is she about to say? There's actually one incident I acted as if I was her, texting a friend.
So you text.
Girl, I was like, girl, this guy acting up. She says back who? I text back, who do you think? I mean, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. Just like, okay, what is she about to say? What is she about to say? A whole different name popped up. And I'm just like,
Who is that?
Your Honor.
you see how you looking right now? I was stuck just like that, like.
Your Honor, he's
That's
not
how
lying
you were?
about that. He's not lying about that. It happened, but I felt like I'm a lady. Like, I'm not finna sit around and just be played when I was the only one working. I mean, he was cooking, he was cleaning, he was watching the kids. However, like, you wanna go hang out with your friends, but you don't hang out with me. You wanna go always be with your brothers, but you don't wanna be with me. So, yeah, I was texting other people, sexually engaging with other people. No, Mr. Wright was the only person that I was having sexual intercourse with. He had open access to my phone anytime he wanted it because I felt like I had nothing to hide.
Let's talk about that though, Mr. Wright. If she did have something to hide, usually people that have something to hide in their phone, they don't give you their phone to play a game.
She didn't give it to me. She set it down while she was watching TV.
Oh, you picked it up and acted like you were gonna play a game. She didn't give you authorization.
No.
All right, so did you confront Miss McGhee? Did you confront her?
Yes, ma'am.
And what'd you say?
I asked her who was this guy, and she like, oh, that's a friend, you know, from the past, way back in the day. That's, you know what I'm saying.
Right
And
off the bat,
I
he
can't
asked
sit here
me,
and tell you
he walked
that.
around mad, punching holes in my wall with his head. So I'm asking him, like, what is wrong with you? Like, what do you know, what's wrong? And he asked me, and I told him who it was. A lot of people didn't know about Mr. Wright, and it was for a reason, because I had a lot of problems with a lot of my friends with my ex.
And why are you so certain he is your child's biological father?
I got the proof, the looks. My son has his mouth, his eyes. I have big eyes. Ahmari has beady eyes like his father. Look at the mouth, the bridge of his nose, and he was the only man that I was, you know, having intercourse with.
I don't think Ahmari is mine at all.
You don't?
No, ma'am.
Tell me why.
I mean, if you want to first, you could bring up. I don't see him in me. Like, I don't see me in him. Like, that he doesn't look at all like me. It was just too much going on. It's just too much going on. She was messing with with some other guy, you know, and I just don't feel like none of this add up. Even after he was born, you know, I tried to reconcile and, you know what I'm saying, try to be around. She would disappear all the time. Like, I couldn't find her. She won't answer the phone. She's never around. Like she says she's at work. They say she's never came in. But she'll leave with a full work uniform.
No, there's never been a time that I have never went to work, because like I said, I was the one paying the bills, paying rent, financially taking care of my kids. So
How many children do you have?
Young,
I have
want to
5
say
boys.
this. She cut me off, you know.
5 boys at 24 years old.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't got no reason to come up here and lie. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you about times where, you know, she was supposed to be at work when her family members came around, go up there. Where you at? Oh, I'm on break.
Y'all set that up.
I'm on.
Playing games.
You hear this?
I was at work. I went to work.
She telling
but Your Honor, after I got off of work, yes, I did go and I went and did something else instead of going straight home. I don't have to report to nobody when I'm doing everything.
Well, Ms. Marks-McGhee, as it relates to the paternity and why we're here today, I hope you understand that it's really about the lying. Right. And it's gotten to the point now where he doesn't believe anything you say.
Right, but Your Honor, this is what I don't understand. He doesn't believe anything I say, but he's so quick to play daddy. And we're, you know, we happy and everything's everything. But then when we're separated and we're not talking, you know, he goes to his family members and he's telling them that my son is not his, and my son loves him. You just seen that.
I did that.
My son loves him to death. Just, you know, the other day we seen him, and when he left, my son was crying because he wanted his daddy. And he
calls him daddy.
Mm-hmm. He does.
You know, I'm not gonna sit here and leave him out here to be out here without a dad. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it. I feel like I should just walk away from it. You know what I'm saying? Disappear. But I wouldn't do that, because that's who I am.
You just want answers before he gets older and you both get more attached.
Because I didn't get to spend much time with my father. My father got killed when I was 12. So I couldn't see somebody else like that if I could prevent it. You understand?
I do understand. And so as you look at this beautiful, innocent child, you don't want him to experience what you experienced.
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I did him wrong in a big way. I love him to death. I'll never, you know, regret that. And I was wrong, and I do not blame him at all for not believing it. All I can do was bring him here to prove to him that Ahmari is his son.
That's why we're here, and I have those results for you. Jerome?
Here you go, Yar.
Thank you. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Marks-McGhee versus Wright, when it comes to 2-year-old Ahmari Marks-McGhee, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Wright, you are not his father. What are you feeling, Mr. Wright?
I don't know if this is a sad feeling or an angry feeling I'm feeling right now. I was saying, he wasn't mine. I built the bond with him.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years. You know what? And ain't nothing gonna change. Ain't nothing gonna change. That's still my little boy.
Ms. Marks-McGhee, I have to ask you, do you know who Ahmari's biological father is?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Is it your ex?
It has to be because they were the only ones.
You know, when you lie, it permeates every part of your life. You got to start telling the truth so that you can tell Ahmari his truth. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Morris, you've petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that the defendant is the father of your 1-month-old son, Jaxson. You hope these results will save your family because you have 2 other kids together. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Byrom, you say the plaintiff admitted to sleeping with another man, and when the results prove you are not Jackson's father, you plan to leave for good.
Yes, I do.
All right, so Mr. Byrom, there's a lot at stake today, am I correct?
Our whole relationship is based on this paternity test right here.
Explain.
This is the second time she's done this to me since we've been together. This isn't just the first time that she's cheated on me. This is the second time. And I've been nothing but faithful and loving to her since day one.
Second time, it happened once.
Ms. Morris, did you cheat on him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now you're here saying he is the father of your 1-month-old child, even though you say I cheated.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Byrom, how did you find out about the cheating? How did you discover this?
Me and the dude she cheated on me with were hanging out the night before, because we're really close friends. We stayed up all night, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I wake up probably 7 o'clock. He's already gone. She fought with me the night before so she can leave and stay at her grandma's house. I went over to her grandma's to, because she was over there with the kids. I seen him on the couch at first through the window. And then that's when I started banging on the doors and the windows. And then I go in the house. He's hiding up in the attic of her grandma's house.
Hiding in the attic?
Yes, ma'am. Hiding in the attic up in her grandma's house. I told him, you gotta...
How did you find him in the attic?
I started searching the house because I had a feeling that they were together.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so then what happened?
He took off out of the house, and basically I just went home and got my stuff together and left for a couple months.
So, Ms. Morris, how do you end up sleeping with his friend?
We were having trouble way before I even slept with his friend. I was always constantly getting accused. He's always constantly telling me I'm cheating. It's been happening for 4 years now.
And so what I'm trying to understand is he keeps accusing you, so you just go ahead and validate the accusation?
Well, technically we split up for a month. Technically, we split up for a month, and he was living down the street at his friend's, and he was dating a different girl, and I was staying in the house with the guy, the other potential father. So we split up for...
The only reason I left is because you cheated on me. Period. The end. That's it.
Well, you shouldn't treat me like crap, and you've always accused me.
Whatever you say.
So when did you sleep with Mr. Byrom? You say you are certain he's the father of Jaxson. When did you sleep with him?
September 27th.
September 27th.
She could have slept with him the same day.
I slept with him on September 25th. That's why we're here today for the results.
Oh, so you slept with the other guy September 25th?
Yes, Your Honor.
Man.
And so you two have 2 other children together.
Yes, Your Honor.
And now this family is in jeopardy because you admit you slept with his friend and him within 2 days.
Yes, sure.
It wasn't just that one time she's saying. She was sleeping with him every day. I would go over there and get mine in the morning, and she would have him at night.
We split up for a month, and he was constantly blowing my phone up every day because we completely split up. He moved to his friends down the street, and I was still in the house. Like I was the one that got to stay at the house with the other 2 children.
And so this thing with the friend wasn't a one-time thing.
No.
They were in a relationship after I moved out.
We were in a relationship
They got together.
when me and him split up for that month.
No, they were together from like July all the way until November. This isn't just a month thing. This was like a 4-month thing.
We were in a potential relationship.
And then you all, after all of this, you got back together?
I wanted to get back together because my daughter is in love with me. She's constantly with me. She don't want nothing to do with anybody else. I want to be there for my kids. I'm trying to make stuff work with her. That's it. My dad dipped out on me, and I'm not dipping out on my kids.
So, did you tell the other guy, Miss Morris, that he could be the father as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
She's still talking to his mom about it.
No.
Sending his mom pictures of the baby. She's trying to tell me that it's my kid.
His mother, the other guy's mother, said if it does turn out to be her son's, that she wanted to be in his life. So when the baby was first born, I sent her pictures of the baby because she was asking me
You just did it last week.
about how much he was. No, I did not.
Yeah, you did.
About how much he weighed and all that. So it's not an everyday thing. It only happened twice. So basically, that's the only reason I sent pictures to her, was because she wants to be, and she wants to be a grandmother if it turns out to be.
Then why are
Have you
you
taken
my kid if you're still
Have you taken
being
Jaxson to see her or the other potential father?
No, the other potential father is actually incarcerated right now, or else he would be here too.
Dude's in prison. I've been taking care of her and both of the kids. Don't get me wrong, her grandma helps us out with diapers and stuff, but I've been taking care of her and our kids by myself. She don't work.
I go to school. I go to cosmetology school, and the only reason I had to drop out was because I had the baby. So I plan on going back in the fall. It's just I have to get, a babysitter and stuff. So it's not like I sit around the house and do nothing.
So are you two together now or apart?
We are in a complicated relationship
Yes,
together.
very complicated.
Do you live together?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you treat Jaxson differently?
I do
Yes,
a little bit.
Yes, he does. He shows my other two way more attention than he shows
Do you
him.
blame me?
So you do admit you're having a hard time bonding with
Yes.
Jaxson because you don't know.
I still buy him clothes and toys and do whatever for him, but I keep my distance from him because I don't know if he's my son.
And then sometimes he'll say it's his son. Sometimes he'll act like a dad to him, and then sometimes he won't. So it's like a mood swing type of thing. Like he'll say, "Oh, well, okay, yeah, he's my son," and then a couple days later he'll say, "Oh, no, that's, I don't know," and then he'll switch it up.
Ms. Morris, you do understand how difficult this must be for him. He's looking at this child, lives in his home with his other two children, but he's thinking, this baby may be my friend's.
Was pretty much my best friend almost. We were hanging out every day, and just because he's gonna say, "Oh, you're cute," and this and that, and game her up, doesn't mean he could sleep with her, So.
You could have slept on me in the past. I wouldn't know.
Like, just because he's giving you compliments doesn't mean anything. Like, they went out to dinner. She told me this. They went out to a movie and dinner, and she had to pay for herself. Like, come on now.
Ms. Morris, I do have to ask you, if you're separated and you all are not together and he's dating somebody else and you decide to date, why his friend?
Just, he's always, like I said, he was always
there because he was my friend.
He was always over a lot, I'll admit that, but it's just, he's always treated me like crap. He always belittles me. It's been going on for 4 years now, and it's just.
Do you have feelings for this other guy?
No, I don't.
If
he's the father, I'm gonna let him be in his life. I'm not gonna keep a kid away from their father. I don't think any woman should do that.
Okay.
So, Mr. Byrom, you just said, wait. When you're in an argument, she says you're not the father.
She tells me I'm not the father, and then she hopes that he's the
Morris,
father.
that you believe he is.
No, when
Is
we
that true?
Yes, when we argue, anytime we get into an argument over anything else, he'll say, "Oh, well, he's not my baby," and blah, blah, blah. And then his own mom won't even see the baby because she,
Nobody knows if it's my kid. Nobody's
understands
gonna
too, but
So your
bond with the kid that's not mine.
family
Nobody.
has not bonded with Jaxson
No,
as
they
well.
have not. My brother has. My mom, no.
When you had the baby, who was at the birth? You were.
I was there for everything. Every step of her pregnancy, helping her out, doing everything for her the whole time.
So, all right. So you helped her out the entire time? You came when the baby was born?
I was there.
I
held the baby first.
Did you sign the birth certificate?
No, I did not.
You did not?
No. I just kept looking at him and thinking about what she did to me, and I can't do it with him, I can't treat him the same as my other kids because I know for a fact that those other babies are mine, And I love them to death. I just can't love him full on, love him until I know that he is my flesh and blood. I just can't. I can't. Never.
I want to be with him. I do not want to be with the other guy. He constantly tells me I do, and I don't. And I'm ready to basically move on with our family. I understand the mistakes that I made. I at least admitted to it. I came out and said what I did, but I'm willing to become a family. We already are a family, but...
You want to work on this?
Yes.
She says she wants to try to be a family, and she wants to do the work.
You can't be a family when you're seeing other men.
Well, I
don't
think,
see no other men.
Mr. Byrom, I think what you're going to have to do, and I know this is difficult, because once you've been hurt, it's hard to put yourself back out there, right? Because you feel like it can happen again.
Yeah.
And there's also this notion that how can she ever prove you wrong and show that she can be faithful if you don't give her the opportunity?
I don't want to argue in front of our kids anymore. I want them to grow up and be like, damn, my family is awesome. We go on trips, we go on vacations. There's no arguing between us. I don't want that anymore. I don't want to argue anymore. I just don't. That's the only reason I want to go. It was the kid and the arguing. It has to stop. The arguing has to stop. And it's overwhelming me, and
So the stakes truly are high.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Miss Morris, it seems like this truly is affecting you. I can see behind your eyes a lot of sadness.
Yes, Your Honor.
You know you've made a mistake.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you regret the mistake you made?
I regret cheating, but I don't regret my son. I mean, I would never regret a kid, regardless of what happens. But I do regret cheating.
You do.
Yes.
When you look at your son, does it make you feel like you let him down in some ways because you don't truly know who his father is?
Yes, Your Honor.
I know that's hard. Because as a mother, you want to give your child everything, right?
Yes.
But you really can't give your child a very important answer, which is, who's my father?
Yes, Your Honor.
This mistake doesn't just affect Jaxson, it will affect the other two children.
Yes.
Because they will have to grow up without their father in the home. Mr. Byrom, let me ask you, are you really ready for the results, or is there a level of comfort in not knowing for you?
I really want to know.
You do?
I feel bad for, not doing the same for him, but on the other hand, I don't. But I really want to know if he's my son or not. But I want to really be able to, full on be, a father to him like I am to my other kids. That's what I'm looking for here.
And then, if, say we never opened this envelope and we never knew the results,
I'll never.
how would you go forward?
I'll never. Like I said, I'll still get him clothes, shoes, whatever he needs. But I just won't hold him or whatever else. I take care of him financially and physically, but emotionally, that's all her. I'm good.
And is that the way it is now at home? He doesn't hold the baby?
Not really. Sometimes, but not really. No.
Yeah. I do, but I don't at all. I give him attention. I made him laugh for the first time in his life, everything else, but for the most part, I just leave him to her. I don't feed him his bottles. I don't change him. I don't do none of that. That's all her.
So do the other children notice there's a difference?
I'm not sure. If they might just be, too little to really know that I'm.
They're 2 and 3. So
Okay.
Yeah, so they don't really know.
All right, I think it's time for the results. Jerome? Thank you. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Morris versus Byrom, when it comes to 1-month-old Jaxson Byrom, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Byrom, you are the father.
Yes. Yes. I'm happy about that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That really helped me out a lot.
How does it feel now?
Feels great. Almost want to cry that he's mine.
That would be fine. You've been through a lot. No, really. And I can see by the way you talked about how you love your other children, that was really bothering you, that you felt like you couldn't fully love this innocent, beautiful baby.
No.
He seemed like a good guy. Ms. Morris,
I'm happy.
you relieved.
Yes.
Is there something you'd like to say to Mr. Byrom after all of this?
I'm very sorry, Josh. I'm glad you're the dad. Trust me, I'm very, very happy.
I just hope that now that you know this, that you could just forget about all those other people and just focus on me and and our family instead of trying to go and still around with him. That's all I care about. That's it. If he wasn't in jail, she'd still be with him. I just might be used as a stepping stone until he comes back for her. That's it.
That's not true, Josh.
What is true, Ms. Morris?
What
is true?
I want to be with him. I do not want to be with the other guy. He constantly tells me I do, and I don't. And I'm ready to basically move on with our family.
Because this is what this is about. Ultimately, you come here for answers, but you have to use those answers for good. Mr. and Mrs. Knowles, you previously appeared in court with the defendant for a paternity case involving another child. You're back today because this love triangle has led you to yet another paternity dispute. Mr. and Ms. Knowles, you say you need to prove to Mr. Lindsley that he is not the father of your 3-month-old son, Tyler Jr., and believe he's claiming paternity to bust up your happy family. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Lindsley, you say Mrs. Knowles doesn't want to admit that she was with you and her husband during the same time, and once you're proven to be her child's father, you will fight for custody. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Miss Knowles, when you found out you were pregnant, who did you tell?
Me.
Him.
Me.
He was in the hospital with
I was in the hospital room.
When I said, who did you tell when you found out you were pregnant, I heard 2 me's.
No, I told Mr. Knowles because he was in the room with me.
I was in the hospital room.
Okay, did you
And my
later tell
cell
Mr.
phone?
Lindsley?
No, what I did, as soon as I found out I was pregnant, Your Honor, I posted a Facebook post. All my friends talked to him, Mr. Lindsley. All of them. So he could have heard it from
I
one of the
personally
3
remember a
people
text
that
message
commented
saying
it.
that you was pregnant with another child that was more than likely mine.
Never said that.
You remember getting a text message
Yeah.
that said that this child
I
would
don't
more
have
than
no
likely...
more because I don't have that phone because she sort of took the phone when we broke up. But yes, I do remember that.
What did you do?
I asked her if it was mine or his, and I was told it was more than likely mine, but could have 1% chance of being his.
And so, Mr. Lindsley, you insist that this is your biological child.
Yes.
Tell the
Yeah.
court why.
Well, according to what I have calculated up and with the evidence that I have here, she was either sleeping with both of us or sleeping with me because she was living at my house during the time that she would have conceded.
Really? Let me see that. Thank you, Jerome. What does this evidence show me,
It's
Mr.
a
Lindsley?
calendar.
And please describe to the court what it outlines.
She claims that she was back with Mr. Knowles around the 22nd of March when she actually didn't move out of my house until closer to the end of April.
Really? So she was still living with you through the month of April.
Yes.
And
Honor.
Tyler Jr. was born on December 29th.
Yes, as far as I'm aware of.
Your Honor, no, that's not right. We had pictures of me and me and my other kids and Mr. Knowles in our house in the later month of March.
That can't.
Back from
On
like March 22nd.
On my Facebook page, where I took a picture of me and my oldest on our couch on March 22nd.
There's no way.
But What the issue is that doesn't mean that
But
she wasn't still intimate with
if-
Mr.
if-
Lindsley in April.
We were already
We-
living
we-
together,
we
Your
were,
Honor.
We were, we
no
were
way.
always together.
We never were separated. We'd walk to the store together. We stayed in the same house. Me and Mr. Lindsley had no contact after I moved out of his house in the middle of March.
That's
And-
not true at all.
and Your
because-
Honor-
And you never, after that point, after March 22nd, it's your testimony that you never had sex with Mr. Lindsley again.
No, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, when I had my mom go pick up her stuff, all of her stuff was at a different house, not Mr. Lindsley's.
Yeah, because she
apartment.
destroyed my house as she moved her stuff out. But that's another story.
And so she wasn't even really staying with Mr. Lindsley at the time.
She was staying with a friend of hers.
So then that means that she wouldn't have even been staying with you until the closer beginning of May.
Me and Mr. Lindsley officially separated in the middle of March. I was living with one of my closest friends for until March 22nd. March 22nd, he came and got me from my sisters with his mother, and we went and lived with him. During that week, I wasn't with Mr. Lindsley, didn't see him, didn't do nothing. Mr. Knowles was the one that came and seen me, and we talked and worked things out in our marriage, and that's when we went and started living together.
Now, if you really want to know the truth about it, you didn't move out until April because I didn't enroll the kids in school until about the 9th of April, which is what the school papers show. And you was at my house living in the same room with me.
Do you remember that?
No, Your Honor, because in February, right at Valentine's Day, I only lived with him for a couple weeks after that. He moved his ex in, I'm gonna say, early March, because
No.
that's when we had our falling out, and that's when I got out. He told me to leave, I got my stuff, and I left.
So, Mr. Knowles, you are still struggling with this issue with Mr. Lindsley insisting that he fathered your wife's child.
Yes.
And what is it doing to the family?
It's tearing us apart because that little boy right there, I know he's mine. Anybody can tell you he's my child.
And why do you know for certain?
Look at him. He's got my eyes. He's got my hair. He's even got my,
Your hairline?
my hairline.
Same hairline? That's what you were showing me?
But he looks like me all around. He's my little prodigy.
I just want to get the results, Your Honor, and be done with him, period. It's chaotic. I want to move on with my family and be away from all this.
Mr. Lindsley, why do you think she's now saying that there's no possibility? I mean, it's not like this is you guys' first rodeo here.
I really don't know why she changes her mind every 2 months.
Why do you say every 2 months?
We'll quit talking for a month and a half here and there, and then next I know, I'll get a message from a random number talking about, hi.
There is no way, shape, or form I contact this man. I keep
So
blocking every single
You don't
number.
have a Google text message app
Nope.
on one of your phones? that
No,
you text
sure
message me
don't.
with?
Sure don't.
What is going on with you two?
It's a mess.
Just a mess.
We want to be done with all this drama because my kids don't need it. They're stressing out enough, wondering what's going to happen with mommy and daddy.
But you do admit that at some point this was a love triangle. You're bouncing back and forth.
The only time that I went back and forth with anybody is when I was with my exes. And I left them to be with him because I wanted to be happy. When I found out I was pregnant with my last child when we came to court, I wanted to make things work before we, came and did all that stuff. And I tried to make it work
And they
because
would've
I
worked if you
was
wouldn't have lied
happy
so
there for a while. But then stuff started to go downhill and I couldn't take it anymore. We kept fighting over stuff. I seen stuff I didn't like. I just couldn't deal with it. So when the last time we fought, he told me to leave, so I left. And that's when I got back with my husband, who really does care about me. And then I kept pushing him away to try to be happy with Mr. Lindsley, and it wasn't working.
That's pretty
I
funny
couldn't
that you was
do
pushing
it.
him away to be with me
Miss
when I didn't know
Knowles?
about him for the whole year we was together.
That's a lie and a half because the friend that hooked me and you up started dating even knew about my husband.
And that's the truth.
But that ain't
She
what we're
sent me
here
a
for.
text.
We're here for the kid.
She sent me a text one day. I didn't know who it was because it was a weird number. After me and her separated, I thought she wanted to leave me, so I deleted her number out of my phone. She sent me a text saying, Dustin wants me to get a divorce so we can get married.
And
Jerome, didn't I say this was a love triangle?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It was-
And then you disagreed.
no, it was there for a while, Your Honor.
Yes.
But
Let
I
me tell you
didn't want
something.
it back.
Yes,
This is
there for a
exactly
while,
what
me-
this
me
is.
and
If
Miss
you look
Knowles
up
was
love
involved.
triangle in the dictionary right now, it's your 3 heads next to it. You have the baby and you name the baby Tyler Jr.
Yes, Your Honor.
Which, when she called me about having the baby, she told me a whole nother name.
Which name did she tell
Didn't
you?
tell me I don't actually remember the exact name she told me, but she did
Okay,
not
but
say
that doesn't
Tyler Jr.
that doesn't matter. What matters is what's on his birth certificate.
That's right, Mr.
That is
Because
right.
my name is on his birth certificate.
Now, what matters in terms of name is what's on the birth certificate, but the truth is that just means it's his legal name.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as to who his legal father is, that's also listed on the birth certificate.
Tyler
And that's
Knowles
you.
Senior.
But that still has absolutely no bearing on who his biological father
I still
really
believe
is.
I'm his biological father.
Mr. Lindsley, after Tyler Jr. was born, did you have a chance to see him? Did you hear
I've
any?
not seen him in person, no, but I have received pictures of,
Ms. Knowles sent you the pictures? How did you get the pictures?
yes, text message.
And what did she say with these pictures?
At the time, she told me that the baby was born, and I said, well, what's he look like? She sent me a picture. I said, well, what do you think? Is it mine or his? She goes, there's a chance it could be either or.
Your Honor, I haven't sent him anything. All of a sudden, I'm sitting on the couch with my husband, and I get a message from Mr. Lindsley saying, are you by yourself? You got a new phone number? I've been trying to call you, but it's saying that it's been disconnected.
See, that's pretty funny because I really don't ever care if you're by yourself or not when I text you because I'm not texting you for you. I'm texting you to see how the kids that I've helped raise are doing.
Your Honor, he wanted me and the kids, instead of moving back to my mom's, to move to Florida with him.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. I got all that proof.
Goodness.
That's
This
such a lie.
is just over the top, messy. When does it end?
Hopefully today, Your Honor. Hopefully today, because then he has no other reason to contact
I mean, from the last time you all were here, this dialogue has not changed one bit.
No.
It is the same old song. I don't know what it is tying you two together, but I know one thing for sure. There is a possibility it could be this child. Mr. Lindsley, you still maintain, even after Ms. Knowles has tried to correct the timeline, you still believe that this is your biological son.
Yeah, because she's not telling the truth of the timeline.
I'm a woman. I know when I conceive, and I know when I'm pregnant and when I'm not pregnant.
Knowing when you conceive
I know when
and
I go to
knowing
the
who you
hospital and
slept
take
with is two different
tests.
things.
The tests that I took, pregnancy tests, don't lie. If it was yours, there would have showed up in the beginning of April. It didn't show up until late April when I was already with Mr.
And you didn't move out
with
until
Mr.
late
Knowles.
April, so that makes more sense.
I didn't move out of your house until the middle of March. I got back with Mr. Knowles in the last part of March because that's when my family and everybody helped me move into his house.
He said she didn't move out of his house until March 22nd when this all started.
No, I said she
No.
didn't move out until the end of April.
He said end of April. I heard him.
That's
You
not
guys
true
are
either.
saying that you guys got back together the 22nd of March, which you guys could have while I was working 10 hours a day.
You weren't even working then.
So I wasn't working at the car wash?
No, you actually weren't that. No.
No, I wasn't.
When we
Not when I
got
Traveling to
back
moving out.
together, I would walk
Chicago,
over.
working 10 hours a day
Nope.
while you were supposedly sitting at home with the kids.
Oh,
And then Tyler all of a sudden knew the address of where we was living, and I had to deal with that when I came home one night. Yeah.
He didn't know the address of where we were living until it was already over. The day that you kicked me out.
So we didn't have to go get the oldest from Tyler.
Listen,
week and a
listen,
half
I
before
can see that we could be here all night long. And I'm not spending the night with you all.
Thank you. When it comes right down to it, it ain't even about the drama between the three of us. It's about that baby.
Yes, it is. That's exactly the truth. So before we go to the results, I need you all to agree on two things. Number one, Ms. Knowles, if Mr. Lindsley is the biological father of Tyler Jr., I need you to agree to allow him to see his son. Do you agree?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Lindsley, I need you to agree that if Tyler Jr. is not your biological child, that you will leave Mr. and Ms. Knowles alone
I wouldn't have a
once
problem
and
with
for
it.
all.
Would not have a problem with it.
All right, with that said, we are in agreement. Let's get some results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Knowles versus Lindsley, pertaining to whether Mr. Lindsley or Mr. Knowles is the father of 3-month-old Tyler Knowles Jr., it has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Knowles. Congratulations, Mr. Knowles.
I knew he was my child all along
You said that.
because the way he looks at me, you can see in his eyes the way he looks at me. I know everything that kid likes and doesn't like.
Mr. Lindsley, we had an agreement.
Yep. Congratulations.
Tyler Jr. is not your biological son. You have got to leave Mr. Knowles and Ms. Knowles alone.
Yes, I ain't got a problem
You've
with it.
got to leave them alone.